Hey, weight loss warriors. Is it good to compare your weight loss journey to others? We'll talk about it in a moment. Thanks for tuning in again to the Working Girls Guide to Weight Loss Surgery. I appreciate you tuning in and supporting me on all of our channels. Be sure to check out all of our pages and make sure you're getting the latest of all of our great content. So, I've wanted to do a video about the dangers of comparing your weight loss journey to others for a little while. And I actually find that I need the reminder myself right now as I'm 3 weeks in, almost 3 weeks after I've had my weight loss revision surgery. I haven't lost a lot of weight. And really the goal of the weight loss surgery was to address the GERD, which I haven't had an issue with at all. But when you're told that you probably can lose some more weight, particularly when you've gained weight, you kind of want to, get hopeful that, all right, this is going to happen. I gained some weight. I've had this revision and now I'll be able to take the weight off. But that might not happen, or maybe it will, and I just need to be patient. But I found myself going through the weight loss revision groups and kind of looking at people who are in the same space as me as far as when they had their surgery, or others that have a little further along in the journey, and seeing how much they've lost. And it can be frustrating. It can be disappointing. And, I see people at times in the groups, even in the other gastric bypass and the sleeve groups, that get upset and say, oh, I've only lost 25 pounds in the first month. I'm a slow loser. 25 pounds in 1 month is great. I think when I had my sleeve initially, I lost, I think, like 27 pounds that first month. So, for somebody to say that they feel like they're a slow loser, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they're looking at what other people are posting and comparing. Now, it's tough. It's tricky. You start looking at what other people have accomplished and you feel like you're a failure. And if you're someone who's battled your weight for a long time, you've probably had struggles with self-confidence. And so you've finally took that journey to have the weight loss surgery and you're expecting all these pounds to come off quickly. And you're looking at what other people are having success in and the numbers that they're posting. And like I said, it can be heartbreaking for people. So it's really very dangerous to compare what you've lost to what others have lost, because most of the time when they do say, oh, I had my whatever January 2nd and I've lost 85 pounds, they're not giving you the full picture. They aren't telling you their age. They're not telling you their height. They're not telling you starting weight most of the time. And it really doesn't give the full picture. So if you're comparing somebody and said, well, gee, they had their surgery January 2nd, I had mine January 4th, they've lost 85 pounds, and I've only lost 65. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Or I've only lost 45. But there's so many factors that play into everyone's journey. So you can't compare your journey to someone else's. The other things that might come into play for somebody else's journey is underlying health issues. Personally, right now, I think I'm not seeing a lot of progress because I have been taken off of my hormone replacement therapy. When I had the sleeve the first time, I had been thrown into menopause after emergency surgery, and I had started taking my estrogen about 4 months before my surgery. So, of course, I feel like I had a really great weight loss at that point, because my body was still getting used to this new replacement and things like that, and I still had some natural that had been going on for a little bit too. So at this point, I had been taken off of my HRT meds back in June when they told me I needed to be off 30 days before, 30 days after my surgery. So as the time went on and I didn't get to take that medication and I was attempting to lose weight, I didn't lose weight. I was actually gaining weight despite in spite of my efforts. So I think that's a barrier for me right now as to why I'm not losing weight. I get one more week that I can't take my medicine. So I'm hoping and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that once I do start taking the medicine, the weight will start coming off. So like I say, when you look at other people and on the groups and see how well they're doing or how well they're not doing, it's not a full discussion. So, if you're someone that has a thyroid condition, perhaps you won't lose as quickly as somebody else who doesn't. If you are someone that weighs 200 pounds when you start, comparing yourself to someone that may start off at 300 pounds, it's not good because they obviously have a lot more to lose than you, and the weight may come off a lot quicker than what it will for you. I mean, even looking back at my numbers when I did have the sleeve, at this point I was only losing about 3 pounds a week, which right now it's probably, I don't think I've lost that in the 3 weeks. I may have lost 5 pounds, if that. I think I'm being kind of generous, but like I said, there's so many things that really come into play that, you can end up being very frustrated if you just go by trying to compare your journey to somebody else's. So keep that in mind when you're on these weight loss sites and looking at what other people have done and how well they seem to have accomplished. Don't get frustrated if that isn't the journey that you're on and having what you deem to be a lot of success. Like I said, if you've lost 25 pounds in a month, that's great. You could have gained 25 pounds. That's all the way of looking at it, but that's still a good number. I mean, even if you're not seeing what you think are huge numbers on the scale, don't be discouraged. I mean, if you get to the point where you're stalling, okay, then, we'll check out my other video about stalls and things to look out for and ways to break the stall. But, just like with anything in life, don't compare yourself to others. You don't know what someone else's journey is and what they're going through. And that's no different with weight loss surgery. So I hope this is a nice reminder for you. I'm going to remind myself of this as I keep going through and scrolling through the groups and looking to see how others are doing with their revision surgery. So I hope nothing but success for you. But again, like I say, if you're finding that things aren't quite working for you the way you expect them to do, go back to the basics, look back at your materials that you received from your surgeon, and make sure you're doing everything that is expected of you at that point. But don't call yourself a slow loser. Don't even, attach that type of negativity with your journey. Just do what you're supposed to, and I'm sure the weight will come off. So take care. Talk to you next time.